I just watched Digimon Adventure 25-ish years later. It's a strange feeling revisiting something you watched as a kid. Nostalgia is a crazy powerful thing. Small moments and details hit very differently when you rewatch them after so much time. Sometimes I'll realise that I actually misremembered something, or gave a lot of weight to a small detail that wasn't that important. So 25 years later, I decided to go back and rewatch the entire first season of the Digimon anime. 54 episodes of scrappy late 90s charm. Does it hold up? Is it as great as I remember? Let's take a little walk. Oh, and inevitably there's gonna be some spoilers in here. This series is a quarter of a century old. If you're still upset about spoilers, you need to manage your time better and get this thing watched. Okay. At its core, Digimon Adventure's story is a classic isekai setup. It follows a group of friends at a summer camp that get sucked into a portal and transported to a mysterious world filled with creatures known as Digimon. And we follow the group as they have to try to survive and figure out where they are, how to get home. That was the basic gist I got as a kid. But as an adult, I'm now also appreciating the darker, more psychological tones to Digimon Adventure. The way this season explores strained friendships and fears, responsibilities, growing up essentially. You could say Digimon Adventure is an allegory for growing up, and I don't think you'd be too far off the bullseye. It's a real emotional journey that deals with some heavy themes. And I think that's why the Digimon anime stood out to me a lot more than a lot of the other stuff I was watching as a kid. I think as a kid I didn't quite realise why. I probably just hadn't developed the critical thinking skills to articulate it. I felt it though, definitely. That I do know for sure. I think something that really deserves its flowers in this first season of Digimon is the characters. We're thrown straight into a group of 7 characters from episode 1, which can be a lot. And what Digimon Adventure does so well is make every single one of them distinct and memorable. How many TV series have you watched where at least 1 or 2 of the main cast fades into the back a little bit? But every character here gets a colourful, meaningful arc. Tai is bold but reckless and has to learn how to channel that courage positively. Matt is fighting to understand what true friendship looks like in practice. Sora is on a journey of discovering her self-worth. Izzy is navigating his differences from the average child because he was adopted as a young kid. Mimi is a spoiled girly girl who refuses to fight and has to grow to realise that sometimes fighting is the only productive option to achieve peace. Joe is incredibly nervy and really skittish, but also kind of the voice of reason within the group, and he's sort of on a journey to discover his own bravery. And TK, the timid younger brother of Matt, who has to dig really deep to realise his potential, and shows that even the smallest fighters can grow to be formidable forces. And the really impressive thing is how these character arcs aren't isolated at all. They're all intertwined with each other. The characters interact with and even clash with each other's journeys and motives, but it all runs along at the same pace and ties itself up really well at the end of it all. That's just group storytelling at its best. Then there's the Digimon themselves. Let's be honest, as kids, this was the main draw, the monsters. And Digimon can talk, and have strong personalities of their own alongside the Digidestined characters. So what I was just saying earlier about having a large cast with a lot of things to pay attention to, double it. That said, the Digimon partners in this first season absolutely complement those of the Digidestined, and play a big role in the revelations and realizations that take place throughout the season. I remember the pull of Digimon for me was the transformations, and specifically how they were temporary. It sort of gave me a similar feeling to watching characters go Super Saiyan on Dragon Ball Z. It's this hype moment when someone powers up to win a fight, and we get it in almost every episode. And so even though each Digidestined only gets the one Digimon partner, sometimes Agumon will digivolve to Greymon to win a fight. Sometimes the enemy will be stronger and it'll need to go one stage higher to Metal Greymon, which is a lot more exciting than if Ash Ketchum only ever had one Pokemon. And also, having just the one Digimon made for some really fun speculation between friends. I would look around my classroom as a kid and assign everyone a Digimon partner in my head based on my perspective of them and their personalities. That's why I didn't do too well in maths. There's also this heightened intrigue around Digimon for me that comes from the branched evolution. Digimon can digivolve into a bunch of different Digimon, which can then branch out to a bunch more potential Digimon. It's always annoyed me that there isn't a Digidex of sorts to visualize things, but it would be insanely difficult to put together because it would be branching and overlapping all over the place. But it's this uncertainty that made the Digimon so compelling to me. Every time I saw a new Digimon on screen, I'd be like, I wonder which Digimon that can evolve to. I wonder which Digimon it can evolve from. Obviously some were very linear and obvious, but others seemed to really stand on their own. Digimon Adventure is kinda split into 4 arcs that are defined by the Digimon villains the protagonists fight in them. First there's the Devimon arc. This is the simplest. It's the arc that opens the season, the first dozen episodes or so. And it's the one where missing an episode or 2 won't hurt you too much. That definitely won't be a thing later on though. This first arc is more akin to what we saw with Pokemon, where each episode stands on its own. There's a real monster of the week kind of setup to it. It's fairly simple and formulaic. We're learning about the characters, we're learning about the Digimon, all while the wider narrative lurks more subtly overhead. So we've got these black gears that are flying across the digital world, possessing Digimon and making them go berserk, climaxing in a big boss battle against the evil Digimon behind it, Devimon. And it's a heavy battle that concludes with TK's Angemon sacrificing himself to defeat it, which I remember being a really memorable moment because it signified a real shift in tone. To me, this was like, okay, we're done with introductions and fun little hero quests. This is getting real now. We're dealing with loss and grief and the necessary cost of doing the right thing. A lot of people will point to this as one of the most impactful moments in all of Digimon, and it's clear to see why. Next, there's the Etemon arc, a lot shorter, probably about half as long as the first, as the Digidestined try to take down a new threat in Etemon, who is just very uncomfortable to look at. As I just mentioned, this is where we see a substantial shift in tone. There's a heightened sense of danger now. This arc introduces the crests that unlock the next stage of Digivolution for the group's Digimon, each one being tied to a trait, like courage or friendship, which is really smart because it connects their personal growth to the growth of their Digimon. And also it contains probably the most cursed moment in the season, as Tai pushes Greymon to digivolve prematurely, and it becomes the very sickening looking Skull Greymon. So I want to say this arc is about self-control, self-awareness, not forcing growth before you're truly ready for it. Whatever it is, there's some nice little metaphors in there for sure. Then we get into the Myotismon arc. Devimon and Etemon were dangerous villains, but Myotismon takes it to a level above. He is truly cold and calculated, and has that feel of being the true evil boss monster that was lurking in the shadows all along. This is also where we see our protagonists return to the real world, where unfortunately evil Digimon have also started appearing. And we get these family-centric subplots going on alongside the main story as well. This arc introduces Tai's younger sister, Kari, who is revealed to be the rumoured 8th Digidestined. She's kind of more assured in herself than any of the other protagonists, I feel. She's wise beyond her years, and becomes almost a grounding force in the group. Her partner, Gatomon, changes sides from being Myotismon's servant to being on Team Digidestined. That's a whole drama in itself. If you're all about the cinematic battles in anime, this is the arc for you. This is where we see fully digivolved mega level Digimon fighting it out for the fate of the world. And that is what makes this arc memorable. The sheer scale of it. And we see firsthand just how interconnected the real and the digital worlds really are. And finally, we have the Dark Master arc. Oh, you thought everything was peachy after defeating Myotismon? Nope. Back in the digital world, a bunch of crazy strong Digimon known as the Dark Masters have taken over the place. And we see some real struggles rearing their heads in the characters here. Matt seems to hit his lowest point. Joe and Mimi are trying really hard to step up to the plate. Sora has to find her true inner strength too. It's a rally. It's the time when all the pieces in the group have to finally come together just right, and at just the right time, to take down the ultimate threat that's now facing them. That ultimate threat, after defeating the Dark Masters, being Apocalypse, a terrible being created from the data and residual negative energy of dead Digimon, basically. It's the ultimate battle against the embodiment of just hopelessness and despair. Then the arc ends with the Digidestined returning home. It's a really emotional ending, because unfortunately the Digimon can't come with them, so they all have to say their goodbyes. I still felt a lump in my throat even after all these years watching this final section. It's an insanely emotional and bittersweet ending, but a perfect way to close out for sure. One thing I noticed watching again as an adult was how much this season was pulled down by, I want to say either budget or time constraints, maybe a bit of both. The animation isn't as silky smooth as it could be. I definitely noticed some frames and movements are reused over and over again, but as a kid I definitely never noticed. There is still a raw creative charm to it though, that gave a lot of life to these kinds of late 90s shows in general, and I always loved the art style of the Digimon series, so it definitely still holds up for me, despite those flaws. I really enjoyed rewatching Digimon Adventure again. Is it perfect? No. Pacing can drag, the animation stumbles in places, but the heart of the show remains very raw and very powerful, and the magic was absolutely still there for me. Like I've mentioned, the Digimon anime really stood out to me as a kid, because it delved into more mature themes. It balanced action and emotion, and always left me thinking about the last episode I watched for the whole rest of the day afterwards. Digimon Adventure is a real coming-of-age story, disguised as an epic monster battling bonanza. And after this watch, I feel a healthy balance of nostalgia and newfound appreciation for this very first season of Digimon. If you watched this as a kid, I would highly recommend going back and rewatching it. You'll feel everything all over again, and then some on top of that. But anyway, that's enough from me. Why don't you guys share some of your thoughts and memories of Digimon Adventure? Have you rewatched it in modern times? And if so, how did it resonate with you compared to back in the day? What was your favourite part? Or least favourite part? Let me know all of that down in the comments. While you're down there, please do drop a like on the video, it helps me a lot, it really does. Subscribe for more Digimon content. Thank you so much for hanging out, take it easy, and I'll catch you all in the next one.